Hi, and welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds. I don't even think I could do that voice, actually. That fucked up. Oh well. Hi guys, and welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds. You know, it's a podcast where two ordinary nerds talk about nerdy things. I am joined today by Daniel, my co-host. How are you doing today?
Doing good. That was a pretty good intro.
It was. I'm still going to leave that Trump bit in there a little bit, just so people know how bad
Impersonator you are.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about this week?
What are you drinking on?
Well, I want to talk about this week because then we're going to talk about our beers.
Fine. Alright, we're going to talk about shows that we're watching that we haven't really touched on. We've touched on the major shows that we watch, but we haven't touched on the shows that we watch, that we like, that we don't really care as much about.
Alright, sounds like a fun conversation.
You got a list? I got a list, and then stay tuned later because we have an announcement for a new segment we're going to do. We are going to touch penises. I mean, no, never mind. We're going to touch on that subject. Not penises, but what are you drinking on?
I'm having a Stella Artois. It's a Belgian beer. It's good. It's light. I like it. It's one of my beers that I like to enjoy when, you know,
it's a good beer. It's smooth. It's not heavy.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking on a Founders All Day IPA. I, as you well know, have been sick with pneumonia, so I haven't been able to drink for like 2 weeks. Now, it's the first time I've had a beer in a couple weeks, so I'm like, oh man, I really want an IPA. Of course, we'd like to try new beers here.
You liking it?
Yeah, it's really good. It's a nice IPA.
Have you ever had a Founders beer? Or this is the
I've had a Founders beer before, but yeah, I haven't had that one. So yeah, it's a decent flavored beer. I mean, I wouldn't say anything special. It's definitely not like Stone IPA.
So it's just a regular IPA. Yeah. Will you buy it again?
Oh yeah, it's got a good flavor.
How many beers do you think you're gonna rate this?
I give it 3.
3? I'd give mine 4. I like mine quite a bit.
I'd give Stella 4. Stella's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So let's talk about binge watching our next shows.
I was gonna say just like our TVs, let's go back through our DVR and start play.
Exactly.
Alright, well, first off, I thought it'd be fun to, because I don't know a lot about this show. I mean, I know, obviously, about the lore, but I figured, since I know it's one of the shows that you watch, you could start us off with Arrow.
Yeah, Arrow's, it's a CW, I think it is. It's a CW show. It's about Green Arrow. Who doesn't know him is the DC comic of Green Arrow. The guy's called Oliver Stone, and it follows the first seasons follow the beginning of the show, and it's in the DC universe. So there is a Gotham City, there is a Metropolis, there is different cities where, like for example, Flash lives, which will eventually join hands. But basically, yeah, it's about Arrow, how his beginning starts, and that's season 1, and how it goes on and he becomes an Arrow. At the beginning, he's pretty dark. He has no problem killing people, but as the show progresses, he becomes more noble and tries to avoid killing as much as he can. A lot of people criticize it because a lot of the stories are the Batman stories. There's, Ra's al Ghul.
Yes, I know that Ra's al Ghul
wants him to be his successor, the same as Batman in the comics and in most shows. There's a good tie-ins with Flash. That's another show that I watch that basically is the show about Barry Allen.
One episode I've seen a few episodes, and the one episode I purposely recorded was the episode where Constantine is in there. I missed that show. Constantine was awesome.
So it's, all the universes are connected. Flash universes are connected. Flash and the Supergirl. I haven't seen Supergirl, and I can't really and I can't tell you too much about it. But they're all there. And although I think Supergirl was in a different dimension, and Flash runs through it and gets to Supergirl's universe. And I think they every once in a while, or they bring Supergirl to their universe to help them, or something does happen. But from this TV show, I think it was Flash, Supergirl. There's another show about
the futures of
tomorrow, Heroes of Tomorrow. So it's a good show. I mean, it's one of those shows that you will have fun. It's watching it. It's not the best show ever. It's not consistent of being good, and it all depends in the episode. But some episodes are great, some episodes are garbage, and most episodes are enjoyable. So I would say anybody watch it. It's it's a Netflix. You can binge watch it. It's an easy show to watch. You don't need to pay too much attention. It's PG-13, I think, friendly.
Is it like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's kind of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a fun show. It really is. I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy Flash a little bit more. I'm not sure why. Flash is a little more kid-friendly than the Arrow, but I just...
That's because you're a child.
Yeah, and Flash is one of my favorite DC ones. And of course, Batman hasn't shown, but they do talk about Gotham, and they do talk, so.
I wonder if they'll ever show Batman, but I feel like if they ever do, it would be too late. You know what I mean? Because Arrow's already almost in like 7 or what, season 6 now. It's pretty far in.
But I mean, I can see it.
That'd be cool if they did.
I can see it, but I think DC would never allow it because that's their staple. But they showed Superman and Supergirl. So I mean, they could show with Batman. Yeah. I mean, or at least I don't know. I'd rather have Batman. If Batman shows up, it will really pique my attention. And yes, watch this in a day-to-day basis. But here, I normally wait until there's half a season, and then I will binge watch them. Yeah, half a season left, and then I binge watch them.
Well, that's a good tie-in because I do the same thing with another DC show called Gotham. I really like that show. The first season was good. Second season was meh.
I like Gotham. Gotham was a good show.
The
first season was great.
The first season was really good. This season has been really good. They've really ramped up the storytelling.
And the Joker's back.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last 3 episodes, but I did really like the twist that they did with Alice in Wonderland, basically. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. I really liked the Mad Hatter. He was awesome. That character just... The guy from Walking Dead, he was one of the Whisperers. He plays the Mad Hatter, which is obviously it's a loosely played off of the Alice in Wonderland story. Although I think it might be an actual story in DC Comics. I don't know because I'm not huge on DC Comics, but
the Mad Hatter, yeah, he's a villain.
Okay, but yeah, it was really good, and I really like how they use James Gordon as the character versus Bruce a lot. I like how James Gordon's the centerpiece of it, which is really neat. And I do like how they have a lot of the villains in there that are later in Batman lore, but they use them in a younger sense.
Yeah, they're like Catwoman is a younger girl. Mm-hmm. Poison Ivy, she grows a lot since.
Oh yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings when that happened because she's supposed to be a little girl, and all of a sudden she's fucking hot.
Yeah.
And she's like a 25-year-old, and you're like, there's a part of my brain that still thinks like she's supposed to be like 12 or 14. Catwoman does a great job, and Bruce Wayne does a good job. The Joker does a good job. All of them do like a great job as villains.
Bruce Wayne does a good job, but sometimes he's a pussy.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a different universe. I don't think it's supposed to be like the Batman that we know and love.
You don't?
No, because
there's
the Joker should be created by Batman. Mm-hmm. And all those people start coming out, all those villains start coming out when Batman shows up. He was the first one, and a lot of people tell that because he let that portrayal, or he put the mantle on, and made everybody else be able to do it. Mm-hmm. Because, and I do like the owls, how the owls are there. There's it's one of my favorite books of Batman.
Are you talking about
the Court of Owls?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I knew what you're talking. Yeah, the really rich people. Mm-hmm. I like their assassin guy that they had in there this season. Mm-hmm. He was really neat.
Is it Falcon? What is it? I think it's not Falcon, but it's a bird. Mm-hmm. It's a bird of prey. And I just wondering if Gordon needs to have a daughter to make who becomes a Batgirl and then becomes the Oracle, but that's...
I don't know if they're ever, because he doesn't have a kid yet.
But she should. She should be...
He's going to have to get hitched eventually and have a kid.
Mm-hmm. But, so do you also watch it in chunks?
Yeah, Gotham I usually, like right now I know that they just went on winter break after these last 3 episodes, so I'll just watch these, and then when it comes back in April, I'll be ready. I'm caught up except for the last 3, arc. But yeah, that show I don't really watch on time because I lose interest if I watch episode by episode. It's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it would be a good Netflix show because episode by episode, if you know the story arc, it's good. But if you watch it, like binge watch it, but if you watch one episode, it just sometimes, it's kind of like Walking Dead at times, how it takes so, like this season, how it took so fucking long to get to the end of the season. And you're like, Jesus, we don't need to have each individual episode focusing on this part. Why don't we just make it move a little quicker? So I feel like watching it in a clump entices me more. So I do love the show. I just prefer to watch it.
Yeah. A show that even though it's not a nerdy show, but I definitely recommend anybody watch it, especially you because you're also a history buff like me. It's called The Crown. It's a Netflix show.
Yeah,
you seen it?
We've talked about it.
Okay,
The Crown is amazing. There's going to be 8 seasons.
Oh wow.
There's going to be, I believe, yeah, they said, or maybe it's 5 to 8 seasons. I don't remember what it was, but after next season, so after the season that comes out at the end of this year, 2017, they're thinking about switching the 2 main actors. So the lady who plays the Queen and Matt Smith.
So her name is Claire Foy.
Okay.
And Matt Smith. They're gonna switch them.
Yeah, because obviously progressing in age. So they said they might, but based off ratings, they said there's a chance that they just keep those. I really hope they keep those actors because they both do a phenomenal job.
I had to say my favorite one in this show is John Lithgow.
Oh yeah, the guy who plays Churchill.
He does a great job, and if you're people who don't know him, he don't recognize his name.
30 Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, he does 30 Rock from the Sun. He's the dad of 30 Rock.
He was the best villain by far in Dexter. So he's what was his name in there? It was the BTK killer or something like, not BTK.
In Dexter, I don't remember.
Yeah, he was the main villain in the 4th season. Most people know who John Lithgow is. Mm-hmm. He's pretty famous.
Yeah, on The Crown show, it talks about the first years of ruling of Queen Elizabeth II,
the royal monarch.
Of England. It's a good show. It shows like the human nature of Queen Elizabeth, not so much portrayed by the history books or the paparazzi. So
it's not enjoyable. It doesn't look like it's something I want to be like. A lot of people that aren't, for instance, there's some people in the United States that would be like, man, I would love to be the president. That's like the best job. Or, obviously people in England some people would be like, oh, I want to be the queen. But if you watch that show, even though it's loosely based off real life, it's still a shitty fucking life. I mean, everything main that happens in that show is real that happened.
Yeah, like
the princess.
You cannot love who you want to love. You cannot marry who you want to marry.
Bullshit, man.
But the same as the president. Everybody thinks it's easy, but it's not easy. You have to make decisions. Like, imagine having, like, President, is it Truman? The one that had the first president who had the nuclear bombs?
Yeah, the hydrogen bomb. Yeah, basically.
Just imagine being the first human being in history having that weapon. And people are saying, use it, use it, use it.
Well, he took over because FDR died, and he was the vice president. So he took over, and they were about to do another D-Day on Tokyo, and instead they decided to go with the atom bomb.
Yeah, but just imagine like the consciousness. So it shows that like the sacrifices of these people made, and how in this case this girl did not run for it. Her dad was not supposed to be king, and so it's a good show. Anybody who doesn't know about the history of Queen Elizabeth, watch it.
I never knew anything about it, so you learn a lot from it.
Yeah, I knew that she was a mechanic in war, but
I knew that.
I don't think they talk about it in the show.
No, they don't talk about World War II much, but yeah, that's a great show. Since we're on Netflix shows, why don't we
go for Frontier?
Let's talk about it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have seen Frontier.
I haven't seen all episodes. Is there 8 episodes? I think I'm in the 7th.
I watched it when I was sick.
I finished.
What episode?
I think I'm in there. I just need one more. I'm missing the finale.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good show. I mean,
I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
It's definitely a little different than what I was anticipating, but I feel like after, I think the next season, it'll pick up and be different because of kind of the twists that have happened at the end of this season. You
so
know,
the last episode is worthy to watch.
Yeah, the last
because I watched a good ones, and it's about this. Before we start talking, Frontier is about this English boy who and his girlfriend and buddy we're gonna try to steal some gunpowder. They get caught, and the buddy dies. They capture the girlfriend, and he basically hides in the boat. When he gets caught, he's been in the ocean going to I think England or United States or Canada.
They're going to the
States.
They're going to the States. Yeah.
So they're going to the States, and the captain of the ship basically hires him by force, telling him he needs to find this guy who's basically Jason Momoa,
Khal Drogo,
and he needs to report to him. So when he gets there, he meets this guy, more or less falls in with his charm and starts working for him.
The overall picture of the show is about the fur trade back in the early 1700s. No, this is in the 1800s, right? No?
This is before they were...
No, yeah, this is the 1700s, before the Revolutionary War. But yeah, it's basically kind of like the fur trade. If you've seen The Revenant with Leo, it's based kind of like that, because back then they made a lot of money in the fur trade, and there's the French. This is before the French and Indian War, also.
Yeah, so it's a show about that, about fur trade, revenge and planning and trying to get everything together. Good things that I liked about it is the fucking teeth, the yellow teeth that everybody has.
Oh yeah, it's realistic.
They don't it's kind of weird because their teeth are fucked up. They're like yellowish. Because, back in the day, they didn't have good hygiene.
Yeah, my girlfriend was like, why are there... Because she came over that first night I was sick, and she's like, why are their teeth all messed up? I'm like, because it's realistic. They're portraying it. They don't have...
Well, except Khal Drogo. Khal Drogo is just...
Obviously, Khal Drogo. I mean...
He is...
He's just amazing.
But I didn't enjoy this show as much... I mean, it's not a bad show. It's just... I did not enjoy it
the
as
Crown
much...
more.
Yeah. As much as I enjoy others. This show it's slow. I think it's a slow-paced show.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some part of action, but the action is not as good as for all that wait. So you're waiting for something to happen, and when it happens, I was more or less let down of, it really was like a 2-minute fight and you're done.
They could have done better with picking some of the actors. So Dumbledore does a good job, that he plays the main villain.
Is that Dumbledore?
Yeah, that's Dumbledore.
Huh.
But I think that his captain or whatever that does kind of his bidding, that guy just...
The red coat?
Yeah, he reminds me of Aiden Christensen or whatever. He's just... I don't like him.
I wasn't sure if he portrays a douche really well or he's just a douche.
I think he's just a douche, honestly.
But it's when... how there's like Joffrey, like you can tell that he's a good fucking douche, like actor.
Yeah.
But he's a good... he can be a good person. This guy's...
just kind of a douche.
Yeah, but I mean, he could be fucking charming.
He could be.
And then we can change our opinion. But for now, when I was watching it and I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm not sure if he's a fucking douche in real life.
Every time he came on the screen, I was like, man, I don't want to fucking watch this. I don't like this guy.
Yeah, I did not like... I love the Native American lady.
Yeah, she's cool. The redhead lady was okay. I don't like...
I was in love with the blonde. That blonde was hot as hell.
What blonde? The
blonde with the tatas?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the Irish guy's girlfriend. I'm like, she's annoying.
Yeah,
I want to stay here with the British.
Even the Irish kid. Wow.
The Irish kid was kind of... I just feel like they got a lot of cheap actors for this show. And obviously, their staple points are the main... the villain.
The Native American, her name is Jessica Maiden. And I think the Native Americans did a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was good that they have Native Americans, although her name is Jessica Maiden, so I'm not really sure if she is or not.
Some of those are. One of the guys that was in his group that died in one of the first episodes, he's been in another show that I watched with Jason Momoa that got canceled last year. It was called The Red Road. It's a phenomenal show. It's on Netflix if anybody wants to check that out. But it's about a Native American Native American tribe in modern times. It has it's really good, but they were all in there together except for the Native American girl. She wasn't in there, but
I guess she is a multi-ethnic descent mixed with Metis and Saukatu Cree. I'm killing these Native American names, but it's Metis and Salanooks Cree. But she also has Ukrainian, Chinese, French, and British heritage. So she's a multicultural descent, which is kind of nice. But I think it was kind of nice that refreshing that they have Native Americans in there. I think it was a good way that they also represented them as a peaceful people, and and actually had some smarts, and
they don't portray them as savages
or idiots who do not know what they're doing, where the white man has to come in and save them.
Yep.
Although it's kind of fucked up that Maurice Momoa is the white guy who's technically saving them, but he's in the show. He's half Native American and half Irish, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he is Native in real life.
He's Native American.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was like.
Well, he's Samoan and Native American.
Well, that's good. So it's good that they just use actual characters. It's good that they try to be as.
I want to hang out with that dude, man. I love his Instagram videos of when he was training for Frontier. And he's just sitting there drinking Guinness and throwing axes. I'm like, God, I want to hang out with that guy.
What shows are that you're watching about the Frontier?
Well, I was gonna say before I go on to stuff that I've watched versus you haven't. I was gonna say we do watch a show called Taboo.
I watched the first episode.
Have you not watched it anymore?
No.
It's still really fucking weird, man. Like really, really weird.
I haven't recorded. I just need that.
It deals with a lot of he has some weird supernatural ability or something. I don't know, but it's.
Did you become like
a fantasy? You need to go into it with an open mind. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a fantasy. It still deals with like Victorian
politics and
culture. England and but it's very, very weird. Another show that I love that it's on its last season, so if you can, I would recommend checking it out, is Black Sails. If anybody's ever read the book Treasure Island, it's a show loosely based off of that, and it's a prequel to Treasure Island. Before then, they have a lot of the real pirates that were in history in Nassau. So they have Blackbeard.
We do have Blackbeard. Are there, just for curiosity, are the Spaniards involved at all?
Oh yeah, Spain has a huge part in that show.
Are we portrayed as the assholes and the bad people?
No, England's the assholes.
And Spain's
just the people that they steal gold from.
Oh.
The pirates. Yeah, it's a phenomenal show.
We stole it from somebody else.
In history, the pirates. What was kind of the turning point was stealing the gold from Spain
and give it to England.
And then England came and tried to take Nassau back, and then there was just basically vengeance on pirates, and they took a lot of them out. And so you have Blackbeard's in there because he was in real life, and then Woodes Rogers he's the mayor of the town.
What was basically about?
It was basically pirate life and loosely based off real life, because Treasure Island takes part after all of that, and so
they're searching for a treasure. They're searching to steal gold.
They're searching for treasure in Treasure Island, but in this, so the first season's about getting the gold from Spain, and then everything. So the second season is kind of where to put the gold, who has the gold, then a bunch of politics and more fighting. And then at the end of that season starts basically Captain Flint's. Flint is a fictional character that's in Treasure Island, and it's basically follows him around. But he, at the end of season 2, something happens and that sparks this just undying
How many seasons
rage.
Are there?
This is the fourth and final season.
Yeah, so the fourth hasn't come out yet.
That started last.
Can you binge watch it, or is it something you need to buy DVDs, or is it in?
Well, you can't. I mean,
is it on Netflix or Amazon Prime?
No, I mean if you have Stars, you could probably binge watch it on that. But other than that, it's not on anything else. But it's a phenomenal show. I'd recommend anyone to watch it because the fight scenes are amazing. They build full-size ships for the show. So the sets are amazing.
Oh, they build they really build ships?
The girls are really hot. There's a girl who plays a Jamaican in there, and she is just gorgeous. But yeah, I would give that show. Obviously, I have a guilty pleasure of watching this show called Homicide Hunter with Joe Kinda. It's about a guy who
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's just a criminal show that's basically Joe Kinda is a detective, or he's a homicide detective in Colorado from the 70s until like the early 2000s. And in his time as a homicide detective, he solved over 300 homicides, which is amazing to solve that many homicides. Usually, a lot of them go under the wind, or back then they did. So yeah, it's interesting because it's all real life. I mean, it's just a detective show that, like on True to TV. But so, you got any other shows that you want to talk about?
I watched one I recommend everybody watching is Mr. Robot.
I've heard that show is really good.
But you probably gonna watch it, so I'm gonna try to keep it. So I'm just gonna basically tell you what's the first episode. So the first episode, and you can more or less get the story is this and this kid that he has a hard time expressing himself and hard time communicating with others. He's a IT guy, cybersecurity, works for this company, and he's basically a genius in IT and hacking, and he basically tries to anybody who's like who he likes. He hacks people who are in their lives to make sure everything is fine. But the show consists of him hacking companies and trying to an evil company and evil corp and try to bring them down using hacking. But here's the twist: he works for them.
So it's kind of like, it makes me think of Fight Club.
Yeah. Imagine Fight Club with weird, egocentric, who doesn't like to socialize a lot, who only has basically a couple friends. And he's a genius hiking guy, trying to break this status quo.
I'll have to check that out. I've heard it's really good. It's almost done with for its second season, or
yeah.
So I'll probably wait. Well, never mind. I have a way of watching that show.
Yeah, I get all DVR. You can see it.
Yeah. There's a show I watch. It's called Outsiders. It's on WGN. It's basically about this hillbilly group that's in the Appalachian Mountains. Somehow their mountain is spiritual, and obviously there's the normal story of the cold people are trying to come in and take the mountain from them, and somehow no one can take the mountain from these people because there's some spiritual stuff on the mountain, and there's some sci-fi twist in there, but not really. It's more so just their belief that the mountain is spiritual. But yeah, it's really good. The conflict between the people in the mountain versus the people in the city, because sometimes the people in the mountain go down in the city and they think of them, they're called ferals. So they're like, man, you guys are really weird. Obviously they don't know, they haven't gone to school, so they're smart in some areas, but they're not really that smart. I mean, it's a good show.
I saw the show, so it looks interesting. I thought it was a history channel show.
No, it's not bad. I mean, it's another one like Gotham that I usually watch it the same week, but sometimes I just binge watch it. And then, of course, the only other thing I have after that is Supernatural, but I only watch.
That's only 2 seasons long.
Yeah, Supernatural's only 2 seasons long. You can catch up in 10 years.
I watched that show until I was like, yes, and no more. You can. It's so good. I loved it until I got bored.
I'm almost done with season 8.
Are you ahead of me now? Is there angels and the angels became? Did the angel became?
I'm probably way ahead of you.
If the angel became super powerful?
Yeah, I'm way past. And that was season 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Castiel became super powerful,
and then died.
Yeah, he has the Babylons or whatever, and people. Yeah, they're whatever they're called. I forget. But yeah, they have. he consumes them in his body, and then they
explode.
They kill him, and then
doesn't he explode or disappear or something like that?
Yeah, he disappears basically. But yeah, he's.
Yeah, I watched that show and I was like, no more. I'm done. After that, I was like, I'm done.
The only part that I get annoyed of is...
I'm going to hell. I'll come back. I'm going to hell again. I'll back again.
That part doesn't bother me. I get annoyed at the brothers fighting all the time. Like, God damn it, Dean, why don't you trust me? Sam, you gotta watch out.
Yeah. I got the Colt.
Yeah.
Where's the Colt?
Yeah. They haven't brought up the Colt. Like, I don't think that anybody has that. They still have the demon knife, but I don't remember. They haven't.
The Colt kills anything in one shot, doesn't it?
Well, it was Leviathan. Leviathan Leviathan are these creatures that Castiel put in his body, and he became super powerful. Well, then they escaped, and then they wreak havoc all over. They kill a really big character in season 7.
What, the uncle, or the buddy, or the father-ish figure?
Yeah.
That's not that part.
Bobby.
He gets shot in the head, doesn't he?
Yeah, but...
Oopsie.
Yeah. Oopsie. Spoiler alert.
Well, if I've seen it, it's been out for quite some time.
But yeah, like, I haven't... I'm not... Obviously, they're on season 12 now?
Yeah, I haven't seen it like in 4 years, so that sounds like I stopped at season 8 or 7 or 8.
And then season 8 is... pretty good. And then there's obviously I still have 9, 10, 11, and 12 to watch.
Yeah, it's
and then 13 comes out.
But you also watch Doctor Who a lot, don't you?
I do watch Doctor Who. I love. Obviously I'm caught up with that show, but I don't really watch. I mean, sometimes if I get the hankering to, I'll watch the old episodes. Mm-hmm. But really,
you just watch the new episodes.
Yeah.
But we talk about. I think you talked about the specials every once in a while.
Yeah, the Christmas special that just came out was pretty good, and then in April the new season comes out. Which, I mean, obviously that show is more of like one of my main shows, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Game of Thrones, whatever, that I have to watch. But yeah, it's they announced this week.
We don't open no newspaper.
Yeah. Well, all right, fair enough. Yeah. Erase that, Lewis. So yeah, you have any other shows to talk about, or do you want to go and tell them our news that not our news, but like our next thing that we're planning on doing?
I think we're gonna go. One of our new segments is we're gonna watch shows that the other person has watched, but we haven't. For example, I've never watched Black Sails, so I'm gonna watch Black Sails, and once a month we may touching the subject, seeing what do we think about his favorite show. I'm gonna say his or hers, but it's only his. Kyle is our producer, and she's not here right now, so fucking Kyle.
And then I'm going to watch Arrow and probably Flash because I haven't seen those shows. I mean, eventually I'll watch Mr. Robot, but I figure Arrow would be something out of my norm to watch because I'm not a huge DC fan, so I think it'd be nice.
DC is a good. You need to get over your DC phobia, Ash, and
I feel like I'm gonna.
It's a good show.
Step into that.
The comics are good. On our next episode, one of our next episodes, we're going to talk about Civil War 1 versus Civil War 2. The comic should come out. Comes out on the 14th.
Did you say you're going to buy it?
I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to let you borrow it so you can read it. I have read both of them. And we're going to have what are things and thoughts, but also compare with. I'm going to try to make a comparison against Injustice that is similar to Civil War, but is the DC version of it. And you want to add anything else?
No, I mean, next week we're going to talk about the season finale of Vikings.
With this, isn't it Civil War 2 and Civil War 1 2? Because next week is... So we're going to... the next episode is going to be our Super Bowl commercials. And after that is Valentine's Day, that unfortunately falls on a Tuesday, so we won't be able to record that day, or our wives/girlfriends will kill us. And after that is Civil War versus Civil War 2, and then compare those two comics against the Injustice comics.
And then I think we can talk about...
then Logan, Power Rangers, Guardians of the Galaxy are named. Then we're going to talk... Then
we have one episode that we're going to talk about the shows that we love that hold up but not around anymore. So shows that you could completely binge watch. There's...
our top completed TV shows. So we're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have good conversations coming up in the near future. And I saw that you went to the newsstand and bought the new Daily Bugle.
Yeah, I got a new Daily Bugle. There's a couple things. First off, there has been a few people posting pictures on Instagram for Infinity War. James Gunn's brother posted a picture, and for those who don't know, he does the motion capture for Rocket. And he's also one of Michael Rooker's, what are the henchmen or whatever?
Mm-hmm. He's the guy behind him.
And Guardians. And then also there's a girl who posted a picture, I can't think of her name, but she's a new character in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and she posted a picture with a beanie on that said Infinity War also. So I'm pretty sure that solidifies the fact that Guardians is going to be an Infinity War.
Also, I think I was going to go into the back, and Han Solo's movie just started recording.
Red Solo Cup is the secret name of the movie.
So, what else is there?
They named the new Star Wars movie The Last Jedi.
It could be single or plural.
Yeah.
Plural. Nobody knows.
And then they also announced the cast for Black Panther. Mm-hmm. And the cast that is in that movie is amazing. I mean, I don't know. They just have so many. I mean, they have obviously Chadwick Boseman, who plays Black Panther. Martin Freeman is in there. Everyone knows him. He played Bilbo. Denai Guerrera, who plays Michonne, is going to be in it. What's her? Lupita something? Lupita. People might remember her. She was in 12 Years a Slave. She won an Oscar for that movie. She was a phenomenal actress.
Yeah, so it's a good cast. It's a solid cast.
So many good people, and which ironically they're all filming at the same time in Atlanta, which Infinity War is being filmed in Atlanta,
and Walking Dead.
So, but Walking Dead's not filming right now. But the ironic part is they're filming right there together. So that means, okay, so these people are going to probably be in Infinity War also. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Chadwick Boseman's going to be in there because Black Panther is going to be in that movie. Yep. There's no denying that.
The Doctor Who, I heard.
And then, of course, big news. I'm always excited for something new, but Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi has announced that after season 10, so it starts in April, the new season, and after this season, and so the last episode he will be in will be the Christmas special for this year. He is done. So the new Doctor, they'll probably be announced then. I just really hope it would be cool if they had one episode where Matt Smith came back.
Mm-hmm. Their specifications for the Nintendo Switch are out too. So if you're one of those people who want to know the specs of the Nintendo Switch are out, it's every day it looks even better. Gaming wise, For Honor is coming out next week. And
it doesn't, the beta's out right now, but it comes out in March, the actual game.
Well, yeah, but so you can start playing For Honor. There's a lot of games that are going to start popping up pretty soon. There seems like it's going to be fun.
Square Enix stated that they're going to make a couple of Avenger games. So Square Enix has a good line of games, so hopefully they come out with I really think it would be awesome if they had like a sandbox type Marvel game. That'd be so cool. Or if an RPG version would be neat. Because it'd be cool to like progress your character. Because I mean, if you look like Spider-Man progresses,
there is games like that already out, like City of Heroes. Even though anybody who plays City of Heroes knows that.
So City of Heroes has been done for a while. That game, only losers play that game. I'm just kidding. You know who we're talking to. I'm just kidding, man. I love you.
And so there's a good game. There's a lot of games coming out. I've been playing Titanfall 2. It's been pretty fun. Just, have everybody, give it a look and just follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Facebook. We're on Google Play and iTunes.
And you can follow it, and that's at Two Ordinary Nerds.
Yep, Two Ordinary Nerds, iTunes, Facebook, Twitter. We should start an Instagram. We'll probably start an Instagram around Comic-Con time.
Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be our special Comic-Con edition.
Yep.
So, cheers.
Cheers.